Hello, my name is Peter Weck, and I'm going to be reading to you a book called The Legend of Momotaro. It's a Japanese folk tale, and this version was written and illustrated by Blake Williams and created on StoryJumper. Once upon a time, there was an old man and woman who lived in a small village near the edge of a forest. They were a very kind couple, but were sad because they had no children of their own. One day, the old man went out to the forest to cut some trees, while his wife carried their laundry to the river for washing. While the woman was scrubbing her clothes, she was surprised to see a giant peach floating toward her down the river. "Wow, that's a huge peach," she said. "It looks as large as the moon." "Come here, you big peach," shouted the woman. Slowly, as if by magic, the peach bobbed over to where she was on the riverbank. "This sure is a mysterious peach," she said, hoisting a giant fruit out of the water. The old woman strained to lift the peach and had great trouble carrying it back to the house. That night, the old man returned from the forest, hungry and ready for dinner. "Whoa," he said, seeing the peach. "That's the biggest peach I've ever seen. It looks delicious." The old woman began to cut open the peach when she heard a cry from inside. Suddenly, the pit cracked open and out popped a beautiful baby boy. The two were so surprised, but also so happy, as finally they had a son they could call their own. Because he came from a peach, they decided to name him Momotaro, or Little Peachling. Momotaro's new mother and father fed him well, and he began to grow. Momotaro especially liked his mother's spinach dumplings, which gave him incredible strength. One day, Momotaro traveled to the village with his father. While they were buying rice for their dinner, he overheard a man talking about 3 demons that were troubling the land. They lived on Devil's Island, he said, and would come across the sea to wreck the village's homes and steal their food and money. Momotaro was a very brave boy and decided at once to go to Devil's Island and fight these demons. His parents were worried, but Momotaro was a stubborn boy, and there was no changing his mind. His mother packed him a big bag of her special spinach dumplings. "Eat these when you need strength," she told him, as she kissed him on the cheek. Momotaro took the dumplings from his mother and waved goodbye. As Momotaro was walking along the path towards the sea, he came across a dog. The dog could smell that Momotaro had some delicious food. "Won't you please share some of your spinach dumplings with me?" asked the dog. Momotaro was a generous boy and gave the dog a dumpling, which the dog gulped down happily. The dog offered to carry Momotaro's bag for a while, and so the two walked along with him toward the sea. On the way, Momotaro and the dog had to climb a mountain pass on their way. As they neared the top of the mountain, they met a monkey. The very clever monkey knew there was food in the bag that the dog was carrying. "Won't you please share some of your food with me?" asked the monkey. Momotaro gave the monkey a dumpling, which he gladly chewed on. The monkey decided to join Momotaro and the dog on their journey to Devil's Island. As Momotaro, the dog, and the monkey came down the mountain, they stopped to rest, and there they saw a beautiful pheasant flying overhead. The bird soon landed on a nearby tree and could see that Momotaro had some delicious food. "Won't you please share your dumplings with me?" asked the pheasant. Momotaro gave the bird one of his dumplings, which he pecked at with glee. Upon finishing the dumpling, the 3 asked the pheasant if he would like to join them in their quest, which he did. Finally, Momotaro and his companions arrived at the edge of the sea. From the beach, they could see Devil's Island. It looked like a scary place. and Momotaro wasn't sure how he was going to make it across the water. But as luck would have it, a fisherman was fixing his nets and offered to lend Momotaro his boat to go to the island. The seas were very rough and windy, but they made it across and landed on the island. As they approached, they could see the demon's castle high on the cliffs above. The castle walls were very tall and thick. Momotaro pushed and pulled on the doors as hard as he could, but they would not move. Then he had an idea. He gave the monkey and the pheasant each a spinach dumpling. Then the pheasant picked up the monkey and flew over the wall of the castle with him. From the other side, the clever monkey was easily able to unlock and open the giant doors for Momotaro. As the team entered the castle, they suddenly heard the booming voices of demons. "Momotaro! How dare you enter our castle? We will catch you and eat you!" But Momotaro was not afraid. Before the demons could catch him, he gobbled some spinach dumplings and quickly had the strength of 100 men. He also gave dumplings to the dog, the monkey, and the pheasant, and they began to fight the demons. The dog barked and bit one of the demons on the leg, while the monkey jumped on another demon's head and scratched at his eyes. The pheasant flew down and pecked on the nose of another demon. The demons were no match for the strength of Momotaro and his friends, and they finally surrendered. "Oh, please, Momotaro," they cried. "Please spare us. We promise we'll behave from now on." "All right," said Momotaro, "but you also need to return all of the treasure you stole." The demons agreed, and soon they had loaded a huge cart with a small mountain of gold and jewels. Momotaro and his friends pulled the cart onto the boat and set sail back to the village to return what had been stolen. Upon returning to the town, Momotaro began dividing the treasure among the poor people. The emperor, who happened to be passing by, saw Momotaro handing out the gold. Moved by Momotaro's generosity, the emperor asked Momotaro to marry his daughter, the princess. Momotaro agreed, and soon after, he, the dog, the monkey, the bird, and his parents moved to the emperor's palace to live happily ever after. The end. To find more stories like this or to create your own, please visit us at StoryJumper.com.